Welcome back to the county seat. Our conversation today has been with Congressman Rob Bishop from, well, actually, it's kind of different now because of redistricting. Just very briefly, what kind of impact do you think that has on the relationship you have with the counties that you represent?
I hope it's not going to be a major change. I am picking up the Uinta Basin and losing Tooele, Salt Lake, and Southern Davis counties. Because I was always on the resource committee, even though there are not a lot of resources in northern Utah, I think my biggest resource was actually gravel. But because I was still on that committee and I care deeply about these issues, I've tried to work with the county commissioners and the people in the other areas. So I hope that we can just build on that and maybe play a little bit more active role now that I actually will represent the people in the Uinta Basin, who I still think, of all the parts of Utah, have probably been abused the most by the federal government.
I think there'd be a couple of people in Kane County on road issues that would disagree with that. However, I think for the most part, you're probably correct. All right, we have talked about the biggest challenge, and it's been pretty clear in the last half hour, the biggest challenge you have is getting people in the East who don't really care about the West to see things from our perspective out here. How are you going to do that?
We're going to do it the old-fashioned way. I sat down with Cynthia Lummis, who is the Congresswoman from Wyoming, and I said, Cynthia, even though you are a very good Lutheran, we are going on a mission together. And the mission was simply that we have the slides that I've shown you already. We're going to put those together in talking forums. We're going to sit down starting with Republican leadership and Republicans back in the East, and then expand out to go some of our Democrat friends who are back there. And we're simply going to sit down and say, this is the reality of how we see things differently. This is what is happening to the West. This is what you are doing unknowingly to us. And we need to start working together so we understand that. It is simply the good old-fashioned way of going down and sitting and talking to people who really have not thought about these issues before because they never have to, and putting it in ways in which we can relate it to what they are doing and how they are harming our kids and how they are taking money out of their pocket, how their support of the Endangered Species Act is harming us in the West. We're just going to do it the old-fashioned way of a lot of hard work and one-on-one meeting with people. And I'm excited about it. Plus, we've also decided that we're also going to have some sample legislation of how we would reform some of these acts. Equal Access to Justice Act, which hurts a lot of ranchers, NEPA, FLIPA, some of those things, some of the changes we'd like to see, so we can hit them up with that right after we've shown them the visuals that I tried to show you some of those.
Well, I think you've done an excellent job. Appreciate your taking the time. I would ask if you have enough time to stay and do an online segment and maybe talk about the issues of justice. I think that's a big issue, Equal Access to Justice Act. And if you can do that, we'll ask you to join us on the county seat on the other side on our website. Thank you for watching today. We'll see you next week.
In just a half hour, find out how land access in Colorado can affect public lands in Utah. I'm Stephen Heumann, and at your leisure today at 9 a.m., follow Chad Booth, Rhea Rossi, and myself as we explore the mile-high mountains of Colorado and take a closer look at the creation of federally designated wilderness here in the Beehive State. What is wilderness, and how does it affect your favorite recreation area? We'll have the answer, along with the greatest outdoor adventures in the West. At your leisure, coming your way in just a half hour right here on ABC4.